Hello everybody, happy Monday, happy Art Day. Welcome, welcome. My name is Sarah, I'm the artist behind Pinselgeschichten, and today I want to work in my sketchbook again, just like the last couple of weeks. But before I start drawing, I want to show you how I compose a picture that I want to draw or paint or work with, how I make my own reference photos sometimes. At least the reference photos for objects that very well live in my studio. So the prompt that I'm working for today, working on, not working for, well, speaking, difficult. The prompt that I use this week is draw something colorful, or something colorful. And I thought, what else could be more colorful than colored pencils? I know, so cheap, but then so fitting for me because I work with colored pencils a lot, and well, they come in every color. I also do have this glass next to me where I keep all the stubs that I'm not using anymore of the colored pencils, and over time this glass will get fuller and fuller. Now I want to draw a couple of colored pencils, but I want the position and the lighting and everything perfect. So I'm having my desk here and I'm now going to arrange my reference. So since I'm working on gray paper, I want colors to pop. You can see here the yellow pops nicely on the tequila lemon picture, and here it is actually more the white than the orange. Nothing really pops there, it's very muted. So colors, I want to use what pops with gray. Of course, pink tones do. So I am going to take this pencil here, either arranging 3 or 5. Odd numbers are always great when it comes to pencils and arranging them. It's actually for any kind of an object. Odd numbers are great. I need a darker color, maybe a dark blue, because they also fit together well. And they're all the same kind of pencil here. Ooh, falling to pieces. And then I want to take one of the stubs. So I actually like, there's 2 of them I really like. One of them is the earth green. The other one is the black. Which one am I gonna take? I like the black because it's just a little tinier and it fits well with the colors. So that would be 4 pencils. I need a 5th one, something, a white. Maybe the white of the, the white of the Color Classics. So now you can see already that I have one of the pencils crossed over. So there's something. What I'm now going to do is arrange them so that I like what I see. And that would also fit well on a drawing page. Yep, there we go. What I'm now gonna do, take the iPad. Yes, this is the timer that I'm using when I'm filming, taking the camera. And I'm now gonna take a reference photo. Now I have two lamps right in front of me. And let me take the setup photo. And then I'm going to show you what I'm going to use for the photograph. I like this one. There we go. So it was off camera, of course, because I'm known to take photos at an angle. So this is my setup. I do have these two warm lamps here. They make these two highlights, and I have bright filming lights around me, and this is the audio equipment. But I do photograph against the light there, and then something like this happens. So I do have reflections on the pencils, and I'm at a very shallow angle with the photograph, and I can use that now as my reference photo for drawing. So I am going to arrange myself at the desk. Don't need the tiny pencil anymore. I'm keeping the big pencils though, because I will probably need the colors. But I have to power the iPad because this will not go to sleep. So I'm gonna have this in front of me, and I'm gonna choose my page, and this time I'm gonna go landscape. I could actually zoom you in a little bit more. Hold on. Oh, yeah, that's not bad. So, zoomed in, and now I can start drawing. So I will take the colored graphite pencils. Oh, that's a water brush. I do have different kinds of colors. And I'm going to need a dark blue, a pink, the green, and what am I gonna take for the white? I'm actually going to take, think, Sarah, I think that I am looking for my graphite pencils. Hold on. So unprepared. Unbelievable. I keep my graphite mechanical pencils in a different spot in the studio. So let's take... Let's take the 07 for the black. Do I have... Yeah, do I have graphite in there? And the 02 for the white pencil. So these ones can go. Excuse me. So now I can take these pencils to draw out my picture here, and I'm going to start with the pink because this is the one that is across. It's across the other pencils. So I'm going to start with it and just sketch out my pencil here. Pencils. So I'm going with this line, and what also helps is actually the length of the pencil. So I know how far I have to go, so a little longer. These are just very, very simple kind of tools to help you out when you need help with size and such. So I'm just going to draw in the first one, and the end is like this, and like this. And that is pretty much all I need. No, I need a little more here, because there I do have those waves and the tip of the pencil. So that is Mrs. Pink. Then I can sketch out I think I want to start with the green one, because it is at a very nice point. It's very distinct where it sits underneath the pink pencil. So I'm in this space, and I'm going to draw a straight line. To have this pencil here, and then I have the tip. And this one goes like this, and like this, and like this, and this, and this. And with my shading later, I can make this pencil three-dimensional. So that is the light green. I do not really draw in the lines here on purpose. I will do that with the colored pencils later. And for some reason, I don't actually need those lines, and I can blend the pencils together better when I'm not having the lines in there. It will look way smoother in the end. So here is the other pencil. It's almost parallel, so, but almost. So something like this. And then go parallel to that first line. And then go on top. And here I do have those wavy lines again from the sharpener. And I will blend out this graphite pencil with the white pencil later. But first we do have the end of the pencil. And then I can go in for the black one, the tiny little one. And that is something like this. And there we do have straight. Something like this. And last but not least, there is a blue pencil there. And it goes like this, and it will go off the paper. Because I'm a little bit too far to the left to actually have the tip of the pencil in there as well. So there we are. All right, now that was the the sketching. And now I can actually go ahead and just start coloring or drawing. And I will bring light and shadow to each of these pencils to make the scene complete. Now I start with the pink one, but I'm also going to bring in a bit of a darker tone. No. Let's try and have the color classics only today. So I'm bringing in you. I bring in this one here. I need a bit of black and dark gray. These are all for the pink pencil. Oh, I need the beige for the wooden bits. Do have my sharpener, and I can start now with the light part. So the light part is in this section here. Because you can see this is light, this one here has a shadow. This is exactly the way I looked at the pencil, so I can pretty much just fill in those hexagons here, and each side has its own value there. I could have, if I liked, I could have used the lines from the pencils that I said I don't really like having in there. I could have used them to help with light and shadow. And if you are a absolute new artist and you're trying to learn how to use light and shadow, how to color it, I would definitely recommend drawing in those lines. But I'm actually comfortable enough to blend with the colors without those lines. Number one. Now I can go with the next one. I'm taking the purple and I'm just laying one dark layer underneath it. And then lay the pink on top. Because that is pretty much the half shadow, quote unquote. It is darker, but it is not the darkest part of the pencil. And then for the last bit, going with the dark blue. This is the darkest. This is where I'm going to put quite a bit of gray or black, I imagine. But first, under drawing, under color, under painting, whatever you want to call it. But laying pink on top. Now I can go in and darken things or define things where the darkest shadows are. And in this case, they are here on the lower side. There's almost no way I could see that it is pink. Goes something like this, and that is also how far it goes. And then there is a section where there's a little bit lighter, where the light bounces off of my table, so I can see the pink, but only very little or very dark. So I'm going in with the gray, the dark gray. And also a bit of the blue. And the purple. To color this section. And then it gets dark again because the other pencils here do take away the reflection from the desk, and therefore it darkens the whole thing up. So all of this here is actually very dark. But I'm still layering pink on top because I don't want this to look flat. And it is just a shaded pink pencil, so there's always a pink tint in there. So it is quite crucial to put the pink down on top of the black to get that tint. And here I'm going to go a little more purple. Now the next bit is, excuse me, sorry, the mid-tone. So there I do have towards the top there's quite the prominent line. So let's put this in. But towards the lower part where the black is, I can see a line, so there it is. And we go towards the mid-tones, so I'm blending out the black into the purple. Going to bring in a bit of the blue, just to keep contrast crisp. And then here on top, I'm gonna take white and go on top of the pink, because there's reflection there on this part of the pencil. Pretty much all the way from top to bottom. So, or front to back, left to right, whatever you want to call it. There we go. There's the white, and then I can layer very gently. I can layer the pink on top. Now I can go towards the wooden bits, so I'm going to the beige. I do have the light on top, and the bottom part is of course shaded. So I would start with the gray, layer that on top to also have a mid-tone. So here's the dark. And there is the very dark. And of course, there's also a highlight here. Again, layering the beige on top to leave it with the, well, the color that it is, but still having highlights or reflections there, because they are varnished, those pencils. So I'm using the white for that. Now the only thing to do is to do the same with the tip. There I will have a highlight as well. And the highlight is pretty much here on the top, layering, and it looks white, so I'm not gonna layer pink on top, but around it I'm going to, well, add a bit of the pink and the gray here, and that would just help with the roundness of the pencil. And here you could actually very well see those wavy marks from the shavings or the pencil sharpening. So I'm going to enhance that contrast as well. A little bit of detail there. There we go. First one down. Next up, I would go for the tiny, sorry, tiny black one, because, well, left to right, right to left. I said it so often in my videos that I like to color or draw from the right to the left because I'm left-handed, and that's how I minimize my smudging when I have things on top. What was it called? If I have all the colors there on top already of my paper, and I then go over it with my hand, I'm very likely to smudge stuff. So this is how I remedy that. The black pencil, I just quickly had to check the time. That's why I played on the iPad for a hot second. Because I do have the reference photo open, I don't see the timer. So I'm starting with the gray because, again, the upper part is highlighted. I do have a super dark down here, so I can go medium heavy with my black. And then in the middle, I can go with a light touch. So that is also something that I always say you can do when you have very little amount of shades of a color in your supplies. Just go with a light hand or a heavy hand and voila, things change up. So what we do have quite the harsh line here that is quite visible. That would be that. I do go on with the beige, and it gets a dark gray slash black on the lower part. Can't really see much of a highlight. It is still beige, but I'm gonna layer a little bit of white on top of the beige for a highlight. Just up here. And the tip has a highlight too, so we go for gray on top and black on the bottom. And on the top, I'm just adding a little bit of the white, again, for the highlights. Next up is the white pencil. Now the interesting part starts. How do you shade white? Well, with gray, maybe. But I'm going to sharpen my pencil first. And this time around is the first time that I do have the back of the pencil visible. So the tip is pretty much just the tip. Can't really see any light or dark here. Then we move into the wooden part here where things are sharpened. I'm going on top of the gray lines with my white just to, well, not have it look like a cartoon with those black outlines, but to soften them and to have them be part of the sketch and not just the outline, you know. So now here it's actually hardly any shadow. It's just that little bit that I take here from the pencil lines, from the graphite pencil, that I'm going to pull into the white. And after that, we do have three things, kind of, no, two major sections. So let's start with the one that has no shading at all. That's all in the light. So I'm just going to have the white pencil laid down here. Again, I'm going over the graphite pencil line, and I'm going to blend it into the white as much as I can. And then underneath here, there's a bit of a shadow. So I need a light gray. The one that I used on the pink pencil is way too dark. So I'm using a light gray, a cold gray at that. And I'm just going to color the underneath the pencil side. So it's underneath this pencil, all of that. There's quite the shadow. Just color that with the gray. For the darkest shadow, I'm going in with my dark gray that I used at the pink pencil. So this part here, it has quite a bit of dark in there. And the dark comes from my dark table, my dark brown table. It, of course, bounces off of the pencil, since again they are varnished, so the light bounces off. I need the white. And a little more of the light gray and the dark gray. Sorry. I might even, yeah, I think I even need a bit of the black. Okay, so it's still not dark enough down here. So I do have shadow here. This pencil that's laying on top. And I do have quite the prominent lines, so let's bring it in. Where's my white? There's my white. So there we go. Smudging these together and darkening up the lower part here. Might want to layer a little bit of the light gray top of this line. Now for the end part here, this is not really in the light, so the white actually looks kind of gray. And then there's, of course, the beige around it. I'm going to layer a little bit of the white on top of the gray, not too much though. And then I can shade with the dark gray here on the bottom. Since this is not really in the light, it also gets a bit of the dark gray treatment. And even a bit of the black to help with these outlines. Moving on to the green. It's pretty much the same thing. I do have a light, a mid, and a dark tone, so let's go in with the light first. Okay, here's something interesting. The pink pencil does not sit on top of the green one, so there's actually just this kind of a shadow there, not this kind of a shadow. So that's interesting. It changes things up when you draw. And the rest is mid-tone. So for the mid-tone I will have the blue, but I should also maybe bring in a dark green. A warm one, so let's go with this olive kind of green. Now I'm laying that down as the mid-tone, and the also part of the darkest tone, so the shadow. But first, mid-tone. Layering a bit of the green on top. And then I can go in for the darkest, that is down here. I'm starting with the blue. Blue is a wonderful shading color for green. And it will make it look way less flat than, say, a black will right away. So there we go. Layering the mid-tone a little more. My highlight, and now I can go really dark, so I will use the black. I will bring in the black for the shadow, for this kind of a shadow first. So let's enhance this one, because it is really dark. The other one is here. And it is almost rectangle. So it goes like this, and it goes like this. And it is solid, dark, black. Very pronounced. You can see here it's very pronounced. There is no, oh, There's no fuzzy thing at all around this shadow. So I'm going to draw it in just as prominent. I also need a little bit of a dark here underneath. A little more of the blue. It will just cool down the shadow. Since I have the warm green as my dark green, I need, and warm green doesn't really say shadow that much. Cold colors are way more helpful to indicate a shadow. So I'm gonna layer this dark green on top of my blue and my black and just blend, 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 blend. I even have a highlight, I just see. So there's a bit of somewhat of a reflection. So we're gonna bring in the white. And it also has a bit of a reflection here. But not much really. Just a bit. So I'm going to layer the light green on top. It's not a high highlight, it's just almost a high highlight. High highlight meaning I keep the white, I'm not layering anything on top because there's a solid reflection there. But it is not the case, it is just, it still looks green, but it is almost white. There we go. Now for the pencil here, it's almost white. It's very light here. Just to keep this pencil apart here from the other one, I'm going to have a little bit of a dark gray there, just to help this part here be separated from this part. Go. Sorry for the ding in the background. Daniel was just messaging me. I hope it's not on the audio. It also is what distracted me, because usually I don't look at my iPad when I film. I just look once in a while to see how much time I got left for the video. But since I'm working with my reference photo here right in front of me, I actually see those messages and I am distracted, and this is what I don't like. Sorry about that. Okay. Bringing in a bit of the blue here. And here is the white. And a bit of the beige on top. And again, a little more of the dark gray just to separate the two pencils. There we go. Need a little more of the mid green here. It's just a little too soft. And it really helps to squint or cross your eyes just for a split second to see if the values are correct in your picture. Just really do it for a second. Don't keep your eyes crossed. If you go for that method, sometimes I'm squinting and sometimes I'm crossing my eyes, whatever. But both of them do the same thing. They make you see something very blurry. And that will help you with evaluating if your values are correct, if you have enough contrast, if you have enough darks, enough of the lights, if your highlights are light enough and your darks are dark enough, things like that. It helps not to see all the details in your picture, so do whatever you can to see blurry for a while. I mean, if you are farsighted, you could actually just maybe take your glasses off or look over the rims of your glasses if you wear some instead of contacts. That would be a possibility. Since I don't wear glasses at home and I'm nearsighted, I go for crossing my eyes or squinting. Both really helps. Going in. Need a little more of the green just to make this really look apple, May green, whatever you want to call it. There we go. Now the dark blue is happening, and then I just have to take care of the ground, so the desk in this case. And then my little drawing of something colorful would already be done. And I got into the pink pencil, so let's remedy that of the pink. There we go. But we were at the blue pencil, weren't we? So I have the dark blue, the black, and then I have the black. I'm not going to take care of the writing on top of the pencil. I don't want to have that in there. Let's see here. There's the words, but I'm not gonna draw them in. Just want colored pencils, that's all. So I'm going to start with my highlight again, meaning a section of the part where there is the highlight, or the lighter part, the true color, and that is the upper part again. There's no reason to really have white in there, so it's not the big highlight. But that doesn't mean that I'm not maybe adding a sharp highlight there. But here on the shadow side, there's gonna be the black, and then I'm gonna layer the blue on top. And that will make it dark looking. By changing up the direction I use the pencil in, I get into the nooks and crannies of the paper, and that makes for a more saturated picture, drawing, and it also helps with making this look very smooth. I don't really have a mid-tone on the blue pencil, it's all just very dark. So I'm just going to add the black. So here. I said I have maybe some an idea of an highlight, but not really. So that would be here. It's not really a highlight, so I'm going to layer the blue on top. But it is a little reflective there, but I shouldn't pencil in the pencil where it's not supposed to go. So let's erase that bit. It's just very subtle, that highlight. Going to turn my drawing here and pencil in the other direction. Again, I will get a more saturated, smooth looking blue there, because I'm getting into all the nooks and crannies of the paper. Then we do have the back of the pencil with a little bit of the beige. And because this is not in the light area, of course there's also gonna be a bit of the darker parts, but I'm going to shade it with the dark gray. And there's going to be a little bit of black on top of the blue, just to make it look a little darker. There we go. Now I have to take care of the shadow underneath. So for that, I actually want to use the black. I don't want to introduce another color, say brown, for example. I think I'm just going to go with the dark gray and the black. And I'm going to pencil in the darkest shadows with the black. For example, here on the pink one, there's solid shadow. Woo, no, that's wrong. These are for other videos. There's a solid shadow here. So that one's gonna be black. Something like this, and then it goes something like this. No, more like this. I'm going to erase that outer line here. There's gonna be gray then, but I don't I'm not gonna have black there, so let's just go in for the dark shadow here. This one here does also cast the shadow like this. That one casts the dark shadow like this, all the way to the pinky, to the pink pencil. So like this. The next one goes like this. It's a little too wide here. Like that. So and the last pencil here has a shadow like this. Now, since I do have black here on the shadow side of the blue pencil already, I'm really going in with quite a bit of pressure here to saturate the paper on the shadow that the pencil casts and have it darker than the pencil itself. I can go in to the other parts once more. And now I can go in and do the gray table. I'm really trying to keep my pencil lines as level as possible to really make it look like a table surface. Actually, I need a bit of a shadow here. Last little bit. And I don't mind going on top of the black or the blue here with my gray. The paper is saturated enough that I probably won't have any discoloration there when I go in with my gray. I'm going in for maybe a few more highlights. Just to up the contrast a bit. This should also darken some things up. Just intensifying a few things to, like I said, up the contrast. Having the reflections on the tips. There's not really a reflection here, it's actually kind of one-dimensional, so let's bring in the dark gray to shade, because I really want the pencils to look roundish. There we go. Maybe a little more on the dark side here on this pencil. There we have it. This would be my drawing. Let's see, time. Yes, yeah, okay. I'm definitely within my 2 hours. So this is today's drawing, colorful. Something colorful, and today is the 15th. So I'm going to write down the date. If you want to see close-up photos or look at which pencils and colored pencils and graphite pencils I used on this particular drawing, you can hop on over to my blog. It's in the description box below. Just go to the website and the post will be there, will be findable. It has the same, my posts always have the same name as my videos, so you can just go to the search bar in case you're looking for an older video and not, well, the one that I'm working on today here, or that I post today. I hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comment section below. I hope you got some time this week to do something creative. Today, as I'm recording this, the 30-day coloring challenge starts, so I'm gonna go color later on, but first I gotta record a new Beyond the Lines video. And I hope you enjoy. Take good care, have fun, do something creative, have a wonderful week. I'm gonna see you back on the channel, I think Wednesday, yeah, it should be Wednesday for a new Draw for Initiative. So take good care, have fun, and I will see you next time. Bye.